Hello, welcome back to Beneficial Life. In this episode, I want to talk about Stable Diffusions and ControlNet segmentations. Segmentations is actually one of, I think, my favorite ControlNet of when you are creating AI generated image, because you have a bit of control of a couple of things to create your composition or scenes. Okay, it's been a while, like almost a year since I tried this one. I think it's just a lot faster now compared to before. So let me give you. Okay, this is one setup in Blender. It seems complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on, but let me try to explain what's going on. This is the image generated, and this is under image editor, and this is all the setup, and I'm using Dream Texture add-on. Okay, and so this is the compositions that I created using Grease Pencil. It's okay, I can modify a few things. Compositions will be, let's imagine this is like a 2D. In the end, it's going to be 2D. This is what the AI generated, and this is the 3D setup. It's actually Grease Pencil, just flat Grease Pencil. And I render this out and then save the file and then reload it inside image editor. And then I just generate it with ControlNet. ControlNet set to segmentation. So this is all about the segmentations. There are many ways to control your final image using AI, but this one is using segmentation. So what it means, the material color will actually be responsible with the final result. In this case, if I specify, okay, the pink color is going to be the house, this green will be the mountain, and this is going to be the lake, and I want the AI to generate some kind of scenes inspired by Ghibli style, and yeah, it's just gonna try to create it based on whatever it's been trained for. So it's creating this image for me, and I can hit generate again. So it's a lot faster than before. Remember, before we need to wait like 10 minutes, 4 minutes, 1 minute. Now it's around 30 seconds. So it's pretty fast. Actually, in different setup, you can actually get this under 1 second. It depends. Okay, I just make a jump to this one. I'll just hit generate. I'm generating 10 using, this is using Draw Things app. This one actually runs on iPad and iPhone if you are using Mac, and I'm using Mac Mini M2. This one, oh yes, this gives a nicer looking compositions. It's slightly different from here, but there's like a forest and there's a house and the lake, the mountain behind it. Let's generate again. Let me try to explain. I can remake this from scratch, but maybe later. So let me explain. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a Dream Texture add-on from Carson Khatri. This is version 0.30.1, and I have installed these segmentations ControlNet. And also a couple of models. Let's also show the Blender version 3.6.2 seems to be pretty good and stable for this. Hit generate again. You can actually make multiple iterations. So this one is using the Grease Pencil. I think Grease Pencil is nice because you can just draw. It's like vector art. It's not a painting, however, so you can't really bleed the outline, but you can use a Grease Pencil with a certain brush, so it gives more like painterly result. If you don't know, if you don't use Grease Pencil, you can also just use block and just give give it a different color material, like in this case. So I only have, yeah, boat, flag, house, lake, mountain, toilet, truck. Okay. If I change my composition like this, it will actually understand. It's gonna try to recreate this. Let's do a viewport render image. So it just grab this scene, image, save as, save it on the desktop, segmentation 4. So dream texture can work in multiple panel in Blender. You can work in the composition mode, or you can work in the 3D mode and get the depth. You can actually reproject this image into the 3D models, but that's a different thing. The one I'm using is just this, the one inside image editor. And all we need, we don't need the source image, but we need to load it inside this ControlNet segmentations. Okay, so we need to first grab our image from the desktop, so segmentation, and let's use that image. So from here, our prompt is beautiful lake scenes, house, mountain in style of Ghibli. Houses, mountain, maybe boats. You can also specify nighttime, daytime. The size of image 512 by 512. Okay, that's fine. Source image, if you want to blend between these and get the coloring to match, but we don't need that. I turn it off. I just use ControlNet and let's make 5 and hit generate. So how do I get the coloring? This was actually generated using this script, and the script is actually sourcing an Excel file CSV that's related to the color segmentation. So there's a, I think this one is using the 150 segmentations based on the ADE 20K model from MIT, I believe. Yeah, but this one, let me show you. Okay, what's going on? Okay, this one. This is actually quite interesting if you want to run a stable video. Let me come back to that. So yeah, Ghibli scenes. If you, let's say if you are using Microsoft Bing DALL-E 3, you know, and you specify beautiful lake scenes, houses, mountain on the lake in style of Ghibli, so you're gonna get random result. This is kind of nice for inspirations. So this is the AI, whatever AI has been trained for. DALL-E is actually pretty good with compositions, so you will get certain look, and it's not exactly Ghibli, but you get a house, the mountain, the lake, and beautiful scenes like this, and it's a square. With something like Midjourney or Firefly, Adobe, there's all kind of AI out there. Midjourney might actually use this or their own trained data and recreate the scenes. If you search Ghibli style scenes, lake, if you Google this, right, you will get Ghibli scenes, basically lake, house. It's very idealistic, it's very beautiful, it's very Ghibli as well, including the character. It's the style they developed for maybe over 30 years, 40 years, but it's very Ghibli, right? Disney, in the past, maybe Disney used to draw like this, painted, but it's very, very, very time consuming, and it's but you know, this is, you can say Pixar. So Pixar also, Pixar, I think the best Pixar scenery probably this one over here, the one in Italy. But anyhow, Ghibli style, it feels like this. It feels very Ghibli. Maybe it's happening the where it is about, maybe in Japan, or it depends on the anime, depends on the story, but it still feels Ghibli, Ghibli cloud, Ghibli grass, whatever. So anyhow, let's get back to this segmentation stuff. Now I think it's I have too many stuff going on here. That's why I get really weird. But there's like a house scenes, and in the background there's like mountain. Okay, this one is trying to do the same thing. It's not exactly Ghibli style in this case. Maybe I need to change the presets. Oh well, anyhow. So this one is using DrawThings app. It doesn't matter. You can use Dream Texture. The most ideal is like Dream Texture add-on running in Blender and running at full speed. You can use DrawThings AI. I mean DrawThings app, which is like a separate, and you can also still use like a ControlNet segmentation here. ControlNet segmentation with a custom image, and you set the custom image over here, and it's gonna generate something. This is a lot faster than the Dream Texture, slightly, but it's comparable, and over time it's gonna be the same. So this is the custom load layer, custom from files, and you get this image. This is the grease pencil image from Blender. Let's use the model. Which one? LCM. I think maybe deliberate. Generate. It's positive prompt, this is negative prompt, and the image gonna be generated in just a few seconds. Not exactly Ghibli, but you get the idea. It's sort of creating all sort of imagery. Based on this segmentation's color. It's not perfect, but you get some composition idea, and okay, this one is not bad. Yeah, it's a blended of all kind of styles. It's not exactly Ghibli. You can train it with Ghibli, but you don't need to copy the style. Anyhow, so back to here. So if you are just using Bing, it's gonna be random. You get some sort of idea. You can Google search for Ghibli style. You're gonna get that. What is this? Okay, this is in Discord. I think I asked this to animate my image. So this is the latest in the AI technology. You can download it. What's the latest in AI technology? It's you supply it with image, and it's gonna create 3 seconds, or yeah, I think around 3 seconds, just like a live photo on iPhone. So it does understand the context. The cloud moves a little bit. Sometimes the camera is like zooming in, zooming out. This is like a still image. There's a house, and the water is animating a little bit. It's not bad. This is from Pika Labs. You need to join, and then it's gonna recreate the scene. Anyhow, I'll give another example, just because we can. Okay, I just asked this to make a scene. Let's grab something different. This one, upload. So the image, of course, 512 by 512, the one that's being generated inside Blender. This one is a little bit too complex. Anyhow, so the segmentation stuff. First, this article is pretty good from Katmus. ControlNet and Stable Diffusions, and I've been using it for about a year. But during that time, there's a lot of things going on. At first I was using Stable Diffusion AI in Web UI Automatic 11.11. That one's probably the most difficult to set up. The interface is like web based. The latest one I'm using is ComfyUI. That's slightly different, but the Dream Texture add-on also was developed by developer Carson Katri, so it's resides inside Blender, but this continuously being developed. This doesn't have the latest of everything, like it doesn't have the LoRa, but it has ControlNet and all the good stuff. This one's Draw Things app also the one I recommend because it runs on iPhone and iPad, so you can basically take a picture outdoor and then give it a style. But okay, let's back to the topic. Segmentations, color, 150 color, and you define the area. You paint this using Photoshop or grease pencil, or just make like 3D blocks like this, and then you convert it into AI image. This article talk about Stable Diffusions 1.5 and how you can use ControlNet, like Canny. You can change a photo with Canny ControlNet, and then you just modify it based on the text prompt. That's really cool. The one I keep, okay, this one using scribbles. Also, this works really well. I like doing doodles and scribbles and then turn it into an image, whatever photorealistic or whatever style it is. It's just like learning a lot of things at the same time. It's just sometimes a little bit overwhelming. This one is using Tencent Training T21 T2 image. Tencent also, I think Tencent based on China is doing their own research. So this one making composition based on a bounding box, and then you just write it, what's the context, and it's gonna try to recreate the compositions. The one I keep talking about was actually the segmentations, which is this one. This coloration, so you can use Photoshop or maybe a silhouette of an objects, cars, houses, and then using that as image reference for ControlNet in Stable Diffusions, you can generate things. Stable Diffusions that we need to use is 1.5. The ControlNet doesn't work 100% with SDXL yet. Maybe it's getting there. But the ControlNet that works with Stable Diffusion model 1.5 will work with all this cool stuff, like the pose mode, skeleton, and then the segmentation. This one using hand sketch scribbles. This one is using normal. If you are using Blender and 3D model, this normal can work really well. This one using cutting edge. But yeah, like I said, the one I really like to talk is this segmentation one. Segmentation. This one, semantic segmentation. So the colorations, it can get really complicated, but this one from ADE 20K, labeling objects using semantic segmentations. So the color here, okay, the following image in Google Docs shows the color codes used by ADE 20K for labeling, and this is the one I am talking about. The one from Google Docs is this one. There's the color coding, so each image is all different and unique, and it's gonna represent things like wall, sky, building, trees, lake, mountain, house, sea, mirror, pillow, all sort of objects, and we get this color. So in order to get this color into Blender, we are using this semantic segmentation this one, okay, of segmentation.py script. And in order for this to work, you download the repo, get this Python, and it's gonna generate the material for you, so you can start creating it. Okay, this one is ComfyUI installed under PINOKIO. PINOKIO is like a browser for GitHub. You don't need to worry about using terminal and then installing something. Just gonna launch this. Maybe it might work. It's ComfyUI, and with the latest install through PINOKIO on a Mac, it can actually generate the video animations. Okay, video combine failed. Manager install missing custom. Okay, back to Blender. Okay, basically we need to have some kind of image, not too complex like this, maybe simpler. But with this, anyhow, the idea is using this script, segmentation script, sourcing the CSV from Google Docs. We can get 150 materials. So if we set this from scratch, okay, this is Blender. We don't have any material at the moment. And I just use that script. This is script. Grab the data of the 150 material color CSV. Just run the script. We're gonna get the material, 150 materials, to define our color here that we can apply. We can use cube or sphere, whatever, maybe create an object. First of all, we need to have lake, right? So let's make everything blocky like a Lego. So like, I just type in lake. Now this have lake color. We want to have a bunch of mountain. Mountain. Okay, select this, and select this, and then Control L, link the material. Let's save this. Colored by semantic. Mountain, scene, lake, mountain. Maybe we're gonna make this larger. We want to have some houses and some boat. It's gonna be a boat. It's gonna be a boat. It's gonna be houses. Houses. Oh, we forgot to make like a ground. The boat is on the lake. This is some kind of ground. Surface, some kind of surface. Okay. Ground, earth, ground, land. Okay, land, soil. This one is a boat. It's also a boat. This tree gonna be houses. Houses, and Command L, link material. So we have our scenes. Set our resolution 512 by 512. We want to render we want to render this out based on a camera. Shift A, create camera. View, align active camera to view. Okay. And then we need to lock the camera So you get our scenes and compositions. You can give this to your artist. Okay, this is a setup, this composition, or you can give this to yourself, because you can draw this as well. Draw. Okay, this should be like a mountain. This is gonna be the sky. The rest of them is gonna be sky. This is the perspective that you want. Let's create. Just use this. Everything's blocky like Lego, but it's okay. We can use this. Now we have this image. Save as. We need to save this out anyway first. And then now we are done with this. Go to image editor. Open up. This is all the step that I want to show you from the very beginning. But I have to talk about other things in order for this to make sense. So dream texture, backend, hugging face diffuser. Let's use the proto-gene model, and then okay, this is calming, beautiful scene, mountain, lake, houses, boat, style of Ghibli. Negative, we can say we don't need to use negative. Size 512 by 512. Source image we don't need. ControlNet, we need ControlNet, and we need to set this to segmentation. ControlNet segment, this one, and then we need to open our image, this one, and just hit generate. I believe generate. So we don't need to see this anymore. We can still have the 3D viewport, and then we can try different arrangement, but this should work. So draw things giving us that. Let's use proto-gene here as well, and then create 10. So it's a lot faster. You can get inspiration from anything, of course. This one doesn't give Ghibli style result, but still I quite like it. It doesn't need to be lake. This could be like a cloud, so it's a city on the cloud. Okay, we got this. Some kind of boat, mountain. There's a house. The negative prompt is probably as important, so let's save this very quickly. Let's get our advanced use ControlNet. Get our negative, copy, paste. So the material is there. Is the material probably not gonna be safe with the blend. So keep the script. You can distort this, or maybe like repaint it in Photoshop just to, yeah, let's see if I actually forgot anything. Let's try if I turn on the source image and then I just use the segmentation, increase the noise strength. This one turn off. It's not, we are not making texture, so we don't need seamless axis. To apply, let's restart ComfyUI. let's reload this. I want to show you one last thing. Oh, the one from Discord. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Okay, this one. It's animated. It's not perfect. We have moving scene. Yeah, the water is moving, and there's this flag or fabric is moving also. It's not bad, right? We have 3 seconds of video. It's a ComfyUI. Stop. Rerun this. So besides the ControlNet segmentations, we also can use the depth. At the moment, it's actually, yeah, it's looking at this, and it's trying to recreate that areas. So now we are using this source image, image to image with a ControlNet, so we get a totally different result than before. Maybe we don't need to use this. So let's see let's see if this works. Okay, let's choose a file, our lake scenes. Okay, upload. Is the image. Let's see if this works at all. It will be amazing if this works. This will create video, but locally using ComfyUI. ComfyUI is using node-based system to loading new model. This might take a while. But this is quite recent, just this morning, I believe. With ComfyUI, this is called workflow. It's probably the most complicated, but actually visually this is the easiest to understand, because we can see what's going on. We have our checkpoints using SVD. You can also use SVD XT, and then this is the node setup, and this is the original image.